So here we are again in the Great Room with my collection. Again, I'm Daniel Borris, and this is our third visit here. The previous visits really showed the vast majority of the collection, and hopefully this visit will be a little bit quicker. So I'll get on my way with it. Here we have another table that, in a large way, displays some of the colonials that Donald Featherstone loves so much. He kept most of his colonials and sold them to a dear wargaming friend of his. I got these guys, the Brits from the Crimea, on this frame. There's the Guards in their bearskins, British line infantry, and there's Highlanders. And set up facing them on this particular frame, of course it would never have happened. There's various Germanic types, and there's a huge amount of cavalry from the Boer War, and also some infantry in the middle. I think these are SAE miniatures, all pretty old, and all very interesting. Behind us there are various boxes of William Britton's, and I tend to display books and photographs too, but prints of old prints, usually military prints. But we can ignore those again for now, if that's okay, and get through this final overview visit to the model soldier collection that is here in the Great Room. Still loads of William Britton's behind, some statuettes, some of Andy Nielsen's Highlanders, some front line Highlanders, and in front of those we have, I won't talk about anything other than the figures, if that's alright. There's a naval team, naval gun teams, and from Marlborough Miniatures, and British naval guns, Britain's naval guns, 4.2-inch naval guns. And here there's some more William Britton's figures, more modern than the holocaust, of course. Next we have, on this table at least, we have a small diorama of Chancellorsville, American Civil War diorama. I painted these figures, they're 20mm, and I was stuck in Toronto one winter in an apartment while I was working. Nothing to do in the evenings except paint a whole bunch of American Civil War figures. Here they are, Chancellorsville, 1863. There's, in these boxes we have various set pieces. The glass boxes, there's this is Bannockburn, where Robert the Bruce defended his nation, our nation, the Scots. Over here we have Waterloo, the Iron Duke Wellington in the middle, one of his heavy cavalrymen, and a sergeant of line infantry. I painted those, quite proud of them. They're 110mm Richard Hammond figures. And here, this third box, we have the War of 1812 in Canada, and this is the Battle of Chippewa. It's just up the road from where I live in Niagara, and it shows the Scots Brigade fighting the Royal Scots and their order, Winfield Scots Regiment being the Scots Brigade, and their order was to shoot the officers, and this little display shows that it was the best way of beating the first of foot, the Royal Scots, was take out the leadership, and that's how that battle was followed. Also here We have more William Britten's box sets. We have a band of the American Civil War, the Union Infantry Band. There's a couple of artillery sets from the 7 Year Wars behind those. Some unpainted figures that I bought in, lead figures that I bought in Brazil. It's what I could find when I was there. You always buy the best that you can find, at least I try to. And another frame of Donald's, which is his French colonials. There's no end of interesting stuff. Foreign Legion, other French regiments, French Marines. Just try and get you a decent look at that. I have to move on. Time is chasing us down here. And behind that there's a tradition set, which is also a French colonial. Now finally, for this visit down here, regarding soldiers at least, we'll look at the books and pictures and things later. We have this cabinet of 54mm figures, which is really massed bands, mainly Britons, but not exclusively. There's also some Marlborough bands, and there's a very nice band just standing, being conducted by the bandmaster, which is an early Blenheim set. US bands, and the Bahamas Police Band. Below this again we have a wonderful tradition set. It's a 4.2-inch naval gun. There's all sorts of other things around it, Britain's infantry and Indian Army stuff, but behind the naval battery is being pulled by what it would have taken to pull it in South Africa, the 4.2-inch naval gun. It's being pulled by 16 oxen, and the tradition set produced it with the full 16 oxen to show just exactly what it would take to pull that gun. Lovely set. And some Rare Britain's holocast ahead of that. Following that basic type theme, we see elephant batteries by tradition. And I bought them both. I liked them. There's a set in blue uniform, 2 elephants pulling a heavy artillery piece. And I also like the khaki uniform, so I bought that set too. Always buy the best set that you can afford. And that may only be a relatively simple piece, but buy the best set you can afford. Better one nice set than 10 that you really would rather not buy. Below that, we have more Britons, holocast infantry, bands, and another state coach. This is one of my first purchases when I got heavily into buying Britons. And it's surrounded by holocast household cavalry. These little guys in the sentry boxes are mint. I'm really proud of those because they're from the early 1950s. They cost 2 shillings and 6pence, a half a crown when they were first produced, and I'll talk to them and show them in more detail at some other point. Below here we have again limited editions, or moderately, here and there rare pieces from Marlborough. So there's some Britain's limited editions and a bunch of Marlborough figures, produced by the same folks, the Scrobies, who produced the Blenheim figures. They came later, and also, quite frankly, almost slipped my mind to mention, the Scrobies also produced the Nostalgia figures for Seamus Wade. And below this again we have a whole pile of British holocast Highlanders in there fending off the dreaded dervishes in the Sudan. And to the left again there's a whole pile of Grenadiers, Britain's lovely Grenadier Guards and the Busbies, also fending off the Dervish in the Sudan. And I'm going to call it a halt. This is a 10-minute video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.